What up, what up, what up? Welcome to this episode of 94 Feet with Coach JT. As always, do me a favor, subscribe to the pod, leave a like in the comment section, let me know what you think, talk to me, I'll talk back to y'all. Visit the website, 94feetwithcoachjt.com. Got some winter merch coming up, got the hoodies, hoodie season in Sacramento, I know for sure. And also, again, man, thank y'all for listening, subscribing, sharing the posts, sharing the interviews, man. 2025 is almost over. It's almost year 5 for me, so I appreciate y'all. My fan pulled up to me today. Let me get into his intro. Today's guest, man, he embodies perseverance, purpose, the power of education, from foster youth to a first-generation college graduate, and now holding both a BA in liberal studies and an MBA. Mr. Zach Young has turned his journey into a mission of service, a proud member of the Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. My brother Zach, man, found brotherhood leadership that fueled his drive to give back, from working in a group homes in his current role as a college counselor. He's dedicated his life to guiding first generation and foster youth toward success as well. His story is one of resilience for sure. I've been there with him for pretty much more than my life as well. Community, belief, the past does not define your potential. Welcome my brother, man, my family, man, Zach Young, a true advocate for the next generation, man. Appreciate your family.
Always.
Long time overdue, bro. Glad you're here. Appreciate you, man. And we're gonna jump into this thing. Day one, early. I mean, you were always in the path you were in, right? Mm-hmm. You didn't start off as this. Who could imagine that years ago upon us linking up? Just give me a little bit of background, man, about the early young man prior to transition to my aunt's house, my family life, us coming together, man. What was that like for you, bro, early on?
It's like a little turmoil. You know, my mom, she moved out here from Texas, from Houston, and following behind my little brother, little sister's dad and everything else. So that is when everything just like went from being good to being all bad. Because, you know, way back then, back in the 80s, you know, a lot of stuff, folks started getting on drugs and everything else. So that's when she got laced into that life. And so that just started making everything a lot harder for us. But it was like just living in Paso Heights and growing up, you know, you always end up getting into yourself a lot of trouble and everything else. So it's like just me just trying to just focus in, locking in, and trying to change my life. But at that time, that wasn't happening. I was moving around from a lot of different group homes, different foster care systems, and being shipped out to Stockton, California, to a group home out there. And it wasn't until my sophomore year in high school that like I ended up my social worker, she was like telling me about foster care. And so once she let me know about that, she was like, hey, we could get you up in this new foster home. First they were going to put me over there at a foster home that was on 29th Street, and I would have went to Burbank. You know, that would have been all bad, you know, and they don't really get along with the North. Right. And so I had to let them know like that wasn't gonna work. Yeah. So then it was all about me finding another spot. They had one that was gonna be in Natomas, but that didn't work out, and then they ended up taking me to your aunt's house. And so I got there, and it was funny because like I had a little curly little top and everything else, came in, pants sagging and everything else, and it was like, nah. And then me coming in there at 14, it's like, as an older kid, it's like a lot of times they don't want to take older kids in, you know. So a lot of folks had their words about it and everything else, but they looked beyond that and gave me a chance. So I went in, dived on in and was like, hey, you know what? I already been on that one side and already saw what that life was like. So I was like, let me just change it around and see what could happen from there. I remember one time Gertha told me, she was like, you keep straddling that fence, your nut's gonna hurt. And it's like, that stuck with me a whole lot. And I was like, okay, well, let me just see if I follow their lead, and watching y'all, you know what I'm saying, Monroe and, you know what I'm saying, Iman and all them, just seeing how they were moving and how everything was going. I was like, you know what, I'm like, I like this. You know, you don't have to look over your back. You don't have to worry about no drama, no smoke coming your way. So I was like, all right, let's see how it goes.
And that's a big change from where you were, right?
Facts.
The church structures, we grew up in it. Yeah. And I don't know if you had church experiences early on, but to jump from not doing something like that, this was a norm in our household, right? Through, like, say, my aunt, my godmom, my mom at the table. We knew you was doing something. We could hang out, go play sports, whatever. But on Sundays or sometimes in the week, you're gonna be in the choir. You're gonna play music. You're gonna usher. You're gonna do something. But as we know, that was another extended version of family.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And for us, that is something we carry super big. I know you do as well, because we maintain that communication through all of it. Good, bad, ugly, still trying to be family and make sure we look out for each other. But that transition for you, you say you like it, it felt great. Was it something that, did you feel any type of like you were leaving anybody behind in that aspect at that time or what? Because, I mean, this is that probably the first time in a while we've had this in-depth conversation. We're going to talk about that a little bit because I've seen the process and we went through it together. But was it like, man, I should bring somebody with me or I want to go back to that environment? What was that like, though?
Yeah, at first it was because I always looked at it like me and my older brothers and them all had the same probation officer, you know? And so I had a different social worker and everything. And it's like at one point my little brother moved in with Gertha and Natalie too. And so I was just like, okay, he was there for a brief moment and then he was they took him and he went back home. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm next. Right. I was like, let's go. So I was like, I thought I was gonna be the next because I'm like, okay, I'm doing good in school. I'm running track, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the football team and everything else. So I was like, okay, I'm in there, you know, I'm going home. And it was like months after months after month coming by and I'm like, what's going on? So then I talked to Angie. She was my social worker.
I remember that, her name.
And then she was like, your mom said you can't come back. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean I can't come back? She just said she's not gonna, you know, say advocate for you coming back. She wants you to just stay there. So I was a little upset. So I stopped talking to her. You know, I didn't communicate with none of them. It wasn't until my senior year when I graduated, and it was Gertha and Natalie and them that told me like, hey, you better invite your family. Because at first I wasn't going to invite anybody and everything else because I was just like, I was so pissed off. Because I was like, wait a minute, here I am doing everything the right way. I'm going to church, I'm singing in the choir, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing all this stuff. I'm not getting in no trouble, no stealing, no doing anything wrong. So I'm like, oh, I'm thinking you're supposed to reap, you know what I'm saying?
Come back my way.
So I'm like, and it wasn't coming my way, so I was just like mad. But it's like I wasn't seeing the vision that God had for me and that he was lacing up for me. There's like he had a plan. There was a paved out for me and he was like, oh, you're going down this road. These things are going to be happening for you. Just stay on that street. And it was like, and I was trying to narrow and go away from it.
Young guy, we didn't know. We couldn't see it.
Yeah, so it was like, I think that helped out a lot. But I did start feeling like I was missing so much because like I wasn't, my little sister was growing older, my little brother was growing older, my older brothers and them, like they all out and about. And it's like, I don't know nothing about them. And then they have my nieces and nephews, and it's like, I'll see them every sporadically, but it's like, it's still you missing so much. Right. And it's like, so I felt like I missed so much within that. It was like nerve-wracking and everything else. So even when I went off to college and everything, I kind of lost track of them because like everybody's always changing their phone numbers and everything. I've been having the same phone number since '99. And so that was the only way that we was able to, them try to be able to find me. But it was like one summer I was working at Helps Foster Agency, and I just happened to forget my lunch at home. And then when I left to go get some lunch, and I just happened to drive by, I saw my little brother on a bike riding. And I'm like, that looked just like my little brother. And I was like, what the hell? So I called out to him and everything else. And he was like, yeah, mama and brother and my brothers and them stay right around the corner. So that's how I really reunited with my family, you know what I'm saying, my freshman year in college. It was like that summer, because like they stayed right around the corner from Helps. So that whole summer, every time I went on lunch, I'm sliding over there, hanging out with them, kicking it with them. Yeah, so it's like, it was just a trip just seeing all that. And it's like trying to catch up on all that I missed out on.
Talked about the graduation and stuff like that, high school, knowing that the family background was different. You could be the first to do a lot of that stuff. Given the opportunity, who you stay with help propel that. What was that like, bro, just getting ready to make these accomplishments? First of all, just graduating high school, knowing you could have not been there either. You could have been somewhere else, could have been locked up doing something else, but now I'm going to actually graduate. And then pursue college next, though.
It was more of like your sister, Wanda, you know what I'm saying, that helped me out because I didn't have anybody that went to college. I didn't know anybody. So it's like when Gertha was working at City, I remember when I used to go up there to see her, I'm always thinking like, oh, I'm thinking this is what college is. Like, oh, okay. And she was like, this is just a community college. And I was like, what? What's a community college? She was like, the same one like the one that's across the street from Valley. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, oh, let me take you over here. She took me to Sac State. And she was like, this is a CSU. And then she took me to UC Davis. She said, this is a UC. And I was like, oh, there's levels to this. I was like, okay. Yeah. So all that started helping me out. And then it's like just meeting a lot of Wanda's friends and them talking about college and everything else. That's what made me be like, you know what? I want to try this out. Because at first I wanted to go in the military, but since I was still 17 and I was on probation, they was like, I couldn't join.
Gotcha.
So I was just like, forget it. I'll just go run track at San Francisco State and just make that happen. But it's like, it was really like watching you know what I'm saying, Monroe, you know what I'm saying, Iman them, Ryan and all them, just like how y'all studied, how y'all stayed on y'all grades, and how y'all was doing y'all thing. And it was like, it was a trip for me, because it's like, at first I was like, oh man, all these square ass cats and everything else. But then it was like, I was like, man, they do all the same stuff that we do, you know?
Right.
I'm like, but they're not getting in trouble.
There you go.
You know? And it's like, they got all these privileges, they going places, they having all these great parties, you know what I'm saying, hanging out. And I was just like, damn, I was over here thinking that this was so much different. And I'm like, this is so much better. Because, like, shoot, like I said, you don't have to look over your back. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about nobody shooting out the party or anything like that. You could just go have a good time, get a dancing and everything else, and, like, holler at a few chicks, and we good.
Yeah.
So it's like, just watching y'all and how much y'all cared about school, it made me want to start caring about school. And I was like, let me just see what this school thing could do for me. And it's been the best thing since sliced bread.
Man, and like you said, man, just coming from where you started, but also people, you know, the odds, right, would have said different.
Oh,
but would have said different. However, though, but it does. You've been a product of both environments, but then the greater environment for you took hold, right? Over can help you, help lift up you what's going on, stuff like that. What I think is definitely dope. But also, it's dope to see the persistence you've been through. Because again, you could have given up or went back or did something different post leaving the house, right? But also, I think the connection with you, they knew, like, even when you left, it was never a non-connection anymore. It was still Zach's still our son, Zach's still family. Hit him up, go see him. Zach finna graduate. We all pulling up. We all making a trip to Frisco. We going to the Black Grad Deep. We shutting it down. And I was just like, man, to see the just the growth in that, but also the relationship you and I have had through that, man. Like you said, we talk about driving two in the two-seater in the Ford Festiva.
The Ford Festiva, man.
Zach got the layouts. He got
the
little teardrop.
I'm
like, man, this we riding though. We might, but we go see your family, or we going to see him. We just hanging out doing stuff. I definitely attribute and give you your flowers too. The bond, again, no blood brothers, but you can't tell us no different. But also, I think it's the respect for each other. It was like, man, we just like, it would just click. Some people just click, bro. On out off the court, on off the field of play, or in life. It's like, oh, everybody, he cool though, Zach straight. Or for me, it was like, yeah, he might have came from a background, but I'm like, man, he actually doing some stuff that y'all ain't doing. Or I know I got somebody with me, he gonna ride. If he go down, I know he gonna pop off. So I'm good.
Sure.
I got a bro with me who gonna rock. But also then I saw the change. So I was like, man, he killing it. Like, bro, I know that switch, whatever you say, flip, bro, going to get the BA, the masters. I'm like, the business, I'm like, damn, bro, is on it. For me, again, I was like, that's what I want to be around too, though. Like-minded black males who can help elevate us and push us. But also, yeah, we like to go out. We like to stay on the dance floor. That was our thing. But also, we knew, hey, we want to go home at night. But also, it's a blessing to have a home to go home to. You feel me? College aspect a little bit. What was it like going to the graduating high school quickly about that, but then just the college, man, stepping your foot on the campus knowing like, man, I am really finna do something else that's outside of my norm?
When I first got into college, so I went in there for a summer bridge for an EOP program. That helped me out a lot because when I graduated, like I said, I was graduating at 17, and it's like I had to leave Girth and them house, so it's like no more funding coming through for me. My mom was, you know what I'm saying, in a situation where she couldn't, like, let me stay at her house. My brother's name was locked up. My little brother and little sister was up in a group home at that time. So it's like I didn't have nowhere to go. And so it's like I lucked up that I got into the summer bridge program because I would have been homeless that summer.
That gave you housing too, huh?
Yeah, that gave me housing. So, but that also allowed me, because that was the first time me being in the Bay. You know, like when I went out there, that was my very first time ever being in the Bay.
You're on your own.
And it's like, the way the program was set up, it was a 6-week program, and you stayed there during the week, and on the weekends you had to come back home. And I was like, damn, I don't have nowhere to go. But Girth and them was like, hey, you can slide back, you know what I'm saying? You can stay at our house over the weekends, you know, and then just go back. So I'll just catch the Greyhound, slide on out here, hang out, and then go right back. And so that helped out a lot. And then it's like a lot of cats that I met from the town, film on everything else, and the point, and like, them cats, meeting them, showed me the Bay, showed me all around. And so I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I made good relationships with them.
Yep.
And so and then they had us taking a couple of classes. They had us take an English class, they had us take a math class,
Okay.
you know, and a critical thinking class in the summer bridge program. So that allowed us to get a chance to see what college was a little bit,
Okay.
and so how the classes were going to be and everything else. But it was like very fast, you know, because it's only a 6 week
weeks.
program. So
Accelerated.
it's like, yeah. So it's like if you're falling behind and ain't reading
Might be
or
tough
anything,
on
oh man. So it was one of those like, ooh. So it's like I ended up getting 2 credits in 2 of the classes, and then I got a C minus in the English class. So I was a little nervous because I thought I was about to get a D or something, and I thought it was going to affect me being able to go into school or something.
Gotcha.
But it ended up not happening. I ended up getting in and making it happen. So when I got in school and school started, and you just start getting everybody there, and it's like Gertha told me, she was like, look, San Francisco's a little different than what you're going to see out here in Sacramento. I was mostly used to a lot of blacks and Hispanics.
Right.
So then it's like you're getting a plethora of all different cultures and everything else. And so it's like that was my first time seeing a lot of different cultures, a lot of different personalities and everything else. So it was like eye-opening. And then not only that, it's like now this is my first time being able to like go wherever I needed to go without having to check in with a social worker, check in with a probation officer, or get a judge approval. So I'm like, and then I'm getting financial aid where they cutting me a check.
That refund check.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, I got this bread, and you know I always work. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to put some money in my pocket.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, I get that check. I got this check. So I'm over here feeling good. But I'm over here running around, going to all these different campuses, going to all these parties, chilling, kicking it. I'm not paying attention to school. You know? I told you I'm running track. So I'm like, that gets me in trouble with the track coach because like grades ain't looking right.
Right.
You know, I'm not checking in with my advisor on what everything is going on.
Young adult.
Then it's like I'm just having so much fun, and it's like, and then I'm also having imposter syndrome because of like I'm not feeling like I belong there because everybody's just catching on to the information hella quick. You know, and I wasn't just like catching on to it. So that was another reason why I was like, I'm not gonna do this reading right now.
Gotcha.
But it ended up turning with one of my roommates, my boy Mike Austin. Like I started just watching the way he studied. You know what I'm saying? He went to Bishop O'Dowd and everything, and it's like he used to have like those different color little pen joints. Yeah, no, not the little pen that had the different little colors.
We dating ourselves. Yeah, with the little multiple colors on that thing.
So he used to just write notes, and so depending on the color, it was like, oh, this is this subject, you know, and he'll highlight things, and I'm like, oh, so this is how you take notes.
We never been talking.
This is how you study, you know?
Yeah.
And oh, so this is how you go look up information in the library and everything else. So that started helping me out. So then I just started connecting with other classmates and everybody else and started doing that. And then it's like with some of my fraternity brothers, way before they became my fraternity brothers, they used to always holler at me and be like, hey, how's your grades? What's going on? Hey, we got this study hall going on at this time. Why don't you slide by here? We got this social that's going on over here. Why don't you slide by here? Before they even said anything about joining the organization or anything, it was like they were just looking out for me. And I was like, what the hell? It felt kind of weird. You know, it was like very foreign. So I remember one time I came back to church out here, and I was talking to, you know what I'm saying, Reverend Oldham and all that. And I was like, hey, man, these cats that keep on hollering at me with these like little letters on their shit. It's like black and gold.
I had no idea
little
what that
letters
was.
down there. It was like an A with a circle with a line, another A. I'm like, what is that? And he was like, oh, and he pulled his little pill back and had a little, and I was like, yeah, it looked just like that. And he was like, oh yeah, they're my fraternity brothers. And I was like, what's that? And he was like lacing me with a little good game. He said, why don't you go and research this? So I started researching it, and I was like, oh, okay. Started finding more information. So then I started talking to them a little more, and that helped out a lot. And so it's like, once again, y'all had already gave me the blueprint on just showing me love and not treating me different or anything like that. And it's like, y'all just brought me into y'all family. Y'all never was like, oh, this is my foster cousin, or this is my auntie's foster kid or anything. It was like, oh, this is my cousin. You know what I'm saying? It's family. And it's like, that helped me out so much to where it's like, I didn't even feel like I was in foster care. It's like I just felt like this is my extended family. They have mad love for me. And that's the same thing it was with my pro fights and everything else. They showed me a lot of love. They just brought me in. So then it's just like, it just all meshed and everything just lined up because a lot of the deacons that I was cool with, they were all alphas. So I'm like, I didn't even
Had
know that.
no
And so
idea.
it's like, oh, I was like, you know what? I just looked at it like, hey, you know, that's God's plan for this to be happening, to be put me in the right place, meeting the right people, to continue me on the journey that He has for me. Because like I said, I still didn't know what I was going to do. At first, I wanted to be a science teacher because my teacher, Mr. Pitts, I used to love his science class when I was at Valley. So that's what when I got my liberal studies degree, was the emphasis in science and everything else. That's what I first wanted to do. But by me being in that situation, I just started like connecting with a lot of folks and like different group homes and different treatment facilities and all that, working with a lot of youth that was having a lot of troubles and everything else. And so talking with them and being a big brother, mentor and everything else, that started getting me into the social work line and everything else. So like that's how I started going.
Lived experience
big time.
is the best teacher, man. That's definitely dope. And then being like I said, and they had no idea what you've been through.
No.
They saw something in you or saw that you needed something like that to help propel you, man. That's definitely dope. Shout out to them for looking out. The fact that you had a chance to just graduate college. What was that experience like, to walk across the stage and know you've accomplished something that?
It was dope. It was like that whole experience was dope because like I was graduated with a few of my homeboys that I came in Summer Bridge with. And then I was like extra excited. Like I ended up getting my picture up on the webpage and up on the commencement paperwork. And I was just like, okay, that's fire. And then it was like just seeing it and just experiencing it, because it's like, oh, you know, you go watch Different World and all that, and you see their graduation and all that. But then I was like, now I'm here. And then me being the middle child out of 5, and like, okay, hopefully my little brother and little sister will see this, and maybe they might want to do something. My nieces and nephews will want to go to college and everything else. So that was like very big. And it's like, and then I felt like I made Gertha and Natalie and them proud that they took that chance on me. And it's like I didn't mess up. Yeah. And that was one of my biggest things. I didn't want to mess up because y'all took, you know, a chance on me and bringing me into y'all family. So I knew there was a lot of folks that was like, oh, you gonna let this boy stay in your house and everything else and be around, you know what I'm saying, your nieces and nephews. And it was like, it was my way of also letting them know, like, hey, don't judge me, you know what I'm saying, because like I did what I did before because of the situation that I was in.
For sure.
But now I'm in a much better situation. And that's what I tell a lot of the youth that I work with. And it's like, I understand your past traumas and a lot of stuff that happened to you and a lot of stuff that you went through. But if you start having a lot of great people around you and they're trying to pour into you, you know what I'm saying, don't keep your hand over that glass. Let them pour into you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to benefit you in the long run, but you just can't see it right now. So it's like, I remember Bertice Berry once said, she said, when you walk with purpose, you collide with destiny. And when you collide with destiny, you find peace. And it's like, that really started helping me a whole lot in just understanding that and just how to change your life around, because there's always somebody looking. Pastor Mitchell always say that. He said, you never know who's watching you, you know? And it's like, we're older, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking up to folks who are older than me, and I'm also looking up to folks that's younger than me. You were younger than me, and I still looked up to you, you know? And like, you might not have known that, but it's like, I just love the way that you went about your way of just like finding your way through the world, you know what I'm saying, with your hooping, you know what I'm saying, doing everything. And then like everybody used to mess with you because you was so shorter than everybody. I say, man, you're going to have your time. You're going to have your growth sprint and everything else. So it's like, but just seeing you never giving up made me be like, shit, if Jay ain't giving up, like what about me? So I'm like,
real talk, like I say, real life experiences you speak to existence, or have somebody supporting you, man, or as they call it, champion for somebody else. It's like, I never had to worry about it. You good, Jay? You got this. Oh, don't worry about it. They laughing now. You gonna have the last laugh.
Facts.
Some people bloom early. I'd rather be a late bloomer.
Like
I said, we turn the journey around later, but that's good. But it's got us where we are today, man. And like I said, that's how he moved though. That's how we always moved. HBCU experience down south. Again, Zach graduated. I graduated. Well, actually, before I graduated, I was like, I went down south. Hey, cuz, you got to come down south. For sure. When I got to come. Pulled up down south. He was like, bruh, it's different down here. And I'm in the country. He went to Atlanta for a minute, but I'm in Mississippi in the country. But fam pulled up for 4 days, probably a week. I don't know. We was active everywhere. Got this incidents at the club with the homie. We got little stories, but it was just something, man.
Slide.
Man, we had to slide for it, but it was just like, man, it was just a time to have your family come pull up, man. Then came back to graduation. Everybody from Cali pulled up, man. Went to Alabama. Church graduated same weekend. That was a crazy weekend. She graduated on Thursday. We drove Mississippi that Saturday. I graduated, bro, to have everybody show up. Just like you said, how people got your back is always authentic, and it's a relief. But also, how was the experience for you, man? Being again now Houston, yeah, okay, Cali, Frisco, but now down south. What was that like for you?
It was different. So when I went to Savannah State, like it was a different experience. So remember I was telling you about Bertice Berry. So she came to our high school graduation ceremony at the church, and I was talking about how I was looking into getting into the social work program and everything else, and I was applying to a few different schools. And while she was doing her speech, she just stopped and she was like, "Hey, young man, I know you was thinking about a program." She said, "If you're really serious, come and check out Savannah State. And if you do get accepted, I'll let you stay at my house. I just converted my basement into a 2-bedroom apartment. My son's in one of the rooms, and you know what I'm saying, you'll be in the other one." I was like, "Oh, bet." Applied, got in, everything else. But it was like, I was happy about it, but then it was also a sad piece because an hour after I got accepted into the program, I found out my brother was murdered. You know, and then I had to end up shaking out to Savannah like less than a month later. So I never had the time to grieve or anything. So going out there, it's like I had a lot of fun and I was meeting a lot of folks and making connections, but it was like I was still going through grief and loss. So it's like my internship was working at hospice. And so I had to go and do therapy on like helping people with bereavement and everything else and trying to get over it. Yeah, exactly. So it ended up happening like one session, you know, we all breaking down, crying, snot bubbles coming out of our nose and everything else. So then I ended up losing that internship. So then it's like I got a little depressed about it all. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to do school no more and everything. So then I was like, I'm straight. I'm just going to just drop out, leave this alone, move back to the Bay and everything else. So I stayed out there for like about 6-7 more months after my first year. I was working at a place called Bethesda Home for Boys. And it's like I was working there, helping out a lot of the youth there, and then smashed back out this way. And then, like I said, a lot of things just start happening. Like, yes, that door closed, but then other doors open. I started working at Edgewood Center for Children and Family, did a lot of work there, met a lot of people. One of my good brothers, Dario, you know what I'm saying, he was deciding to go back to grad school. And I was like, he was like, "Hey, bro, why don't you slide with me?" And I was like, "Man, I'm done with school. I ain't going to no more school." But then he decided, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get my MBA with," you know what I'm saying, he wanted a concentration in information systems and all that because he likes computers and all that other stuff. And I was like, man, so we talking to the recruiter and everything else and going on about the school stuff. And then the dude was like, "What's up with your boy?" Because I'm just trying to give him support. And he was like, "Man, wouldn't that be dope? Didn't y'all graduate undergrad together?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Wouldn't that be dope? Y'all graduate graduate school together?" And I was like, "And then y'all both got y'all MBA." And I was like, So I was like, forget it. All right, so we did it. Both knocked it on out, you know, and it just lined up to me working with the county, you know what I'm saying, moving on up in there, doing stuff with them. And it's like everything just been coming into place. And then that's how I ended up getting into counseling. You know what I'm saying, and just pivoting into higher education because I wanted to bridge the gap because I just started seeing all these different programs that I was working with on how we were seeing more and more young black men not going to college, you know, or if they did go to college, it was over here just dropping out, you know what I'm saying, the retention levels wasn't there. So I was like, how can I bridge that gap and help them out? And I was like, well, if I come in there and counseling them, and I'm working in these programs that work with these at-risk youth, you know what I'm saying, working with foster youth, working with folks, you know what I'm saying, from low income, you know what I'm saying, communities and everything else. Man, now they see somebody that went through something that they went through that can help them out.
For sure.
So, you know, just started doing that, and now everything's going good. I've been working with a lot of different programs, helping out a lot of young men. You know, in my 5 years of higher education, I have had over 120 young black men, you know what I'm saying, graduate college, helped them out that thought about dropping out, but they ended up sticking through it. So I'm like, I'm feeling good with it. I have multiple other students that did it, graduated too, but it's like I was really trying to concentrate on really my black and brown young men graduating.
That's what's up, man. That internal feeling for that, you accomplishing that, how does that make you feel? Because again, you're pointing, like you said, you're not covering your cup though. Really, now you're the one
pouring.
How is that, and to see those young men succeed though? How is that just? I mean, we got to give ourselves some props sometimes too, or we know that's what you find. You find the purpose, right? For you to be in that purpose, in that line, in that space, in that peace, hopefully, in that. How does that make you feel?
I feel real good about it, man. Cause like I always wished I had like an uncle or somebody, you know what I'm saying, older gentleman that was pouring into me. It's like I only got a little snippet of it when I was with Gertha and Nelly, because like I was only there for a couple of years, you know, and so it's like I was in and then I was right back out. And it's like, yes, I came back every summer or every now and then, was still keeping those relationships and everything, but it ain't the same when you got somebody from the beginning, probably. You know what I'm saying, for a long period of time, constantly on your helmet and everything else. So it's like it felt real good, especially when they hit you back and now they all grown adults, got kids and everything else. And it's like they're making all these different life choices and different career moves, and they hit you up and they want you to come. Like I got a few that are officers. I got a few that are in the military. I got a few that are in social work, teaching. One's a vice principal and everything else. So it's like just seeing this and like, man, like, wow. You know, it's like, it's great. And it's like I said, they got their kids are growing up and they want you to be a part of their kids' lives.
They see the value?
Yeah. So it's like, that feels real good.
That's what's up, bro. I mean, it's been well earned and also into your business. Right now we're doing, you're still working there, but entrepreneurship. Like, right, you're an entrepreneur. Got your own fitness, gyms stuff going on, training program. That's a whole other aspect of like, again, now you point at other people right there. What about the fitness world though, man? Just that keeps you going or got you into that?
The fitness stuff, I got into that because like one day I was working out at 24 and I was like, I love doing plyometrics. And so I was like doing a lot of box jumping and everything else. And I'm like, now that one at 24, they had the gym, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, everybody hooping up in there and you box jumping right in front of the glass. So they seeing it. And so it was like a couple of little hoopers came over there and was like, oh man, let me try some of this out. And you know, box jumping, you got to be careful. You one slip.
That box is over.
So it's like, you know, some of them be like, oh man, I think I got more bounce than you. And then you over here like, you slipping and falling and you ain't even getting over it. So it's like, that's how it started off, because one of the managers saw me just helping a lot of folks and he was like, man, why don't you know what I'm saying, get your certificates and all that and come do some training over here. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I was just doing that all on the side. So all of my training is all just like a little bit on the side, just some fun and just to help folks out. So I do a lot of strength and conditioning, you know what I'm saying? I did it at a couple of high schools out there in the Bay too. And it's like, it's just like I said, the fun of just helping folks to achieve something that they thought they couldn't achieve. And so I'm enjoying that. And it's always just seeing people win. And that's all it's all about. It's like, I just always just want to see everybody winning, you know what I'm saying, and everybody having that faith in themselves to make a change and all that. So that's why I mostly stay well on my fitness stuff. But it's like, I love doing it. It's like, I have fun with it.
And for us personally, it's something we need to do it ourselves.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Watch
you know what I'm
saying?
Your boy 46, and I'm like, but I don't look it. You know?
Hey, man, we good, bro. We still on. That's a big thing, dog. Like I said, we don't look what we've been through. But also, we still able to keep up. It's important about what we eat, what we drink. I know you've been tough on that what you eating journey, staying strict to that, which you can tell, but it testimates to the physical attributes, but how we look, how we feel. They had to move around and stuff too, man. So definitely that. Into every show, bro, you already know triple threat in basketball is dribble, pass, and shoot. But I ask all my guests, bro, just for your personal triple threat. If somebody new sees you walk into a room or they see the counselor young, give me 3 things, bro, that you hold it for yourself accountability-wise or just how you presence-wise when you walk into a room. Give me 3 things people can like, okay, no, yep, that's Zach. Like, that's him. Give me your personal triple threat.
Charismatic. You know, I'm always going to crack jokes, make you have a good time, always make you feel welcome, you know, never making you feel as though, you know what I'm saying, you're not welcome or I'm hating or anything like that. So I would say that. I would say, a real team player. You know, always going about like looking out for you, you know, bringing you into anything. If I'm learning something new with stocks or anything that's going on, I'm going to lace you up with that same game and pass it on to you. I'm not going to gatekeep it or anything like that. And I'm just like honest, you know, I'm always going to keep it a buck, no matter what. If you feel like it's going to be hurtful to hear it, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to tell you because I think it's beneficial for you and everything else. And just keep it moving that way.
Man, I appreciate you for sliding in. I'm going to say this, too. Though that nobody knows but you, but when I first started the podcast, I called one person to ask me help out to get this financial thing going and get my website stuff going. I called Zach. Called you one time, text you whatever we talk. You said, where I got to send the money. No second question. So I'm not here today without your financials, without your support with this. You're the only person I called, no lie, the one person, but I just knew, like, if anybody can help my dog, will help me. Win, lose, or draw. If it's $10, if it's $50, he was like, Jay, where I'm going to send it? I was like, bro, I gotta get my website going. I want it's gonna help me level up. Nah, I don't even know just where I'm gonna send it. And bro, like I said, I appreciate you because as you see where I'm at today, even through shout out to the Woods and the family in the background too. They this vibe right here, this us Sacramento people grew up together. Like it's meant for a reason. But again, this not happening if it wasn't for you making that financial donation. I know you didn't have to, or if I didn't need anything, you would have done it. But still, just like man, it's not here, and it's been going, bro. However many episodes, going on 5 years. I started off with the phone call to the family, like, but I was like, nah, I know this one. Win, lose, or draw, he gonna do something for me, and it's came through and it's been rocking, bro. And like I said, I appreciate you, man. Love you for that, for sure. Like I said, man, I can say that proudly. Always have, always will. Feelings mutual, man. You heard it first, man. Zach Young, Coach JT, Woods Media. Appreciate y'all. 94 Feet with Coach JT. We out. Peace.